Hello, my name is Robert Dean Steele, and this is your daily Bible class. We've been looking at Revelation chapter 17, and we're looking at verses 7 right through until verse number 14. Listen to what it says. When John had seen this vision of this woman in the wilderness, he says, I was greatly astonished. Then the angel said to me, why are you astonished? I will explain. So John had seen this vision of this woman sitting in the wilderness, and she was sitting on this beast, and she was drinking this cup. And he was astonished over the whole thing. So the angel says, you know what, I'm going to explain it to you. He says, to you, the mystery of the woman and the beast she rides, well, which is the 7 heads and the 7 horns. He says, listen, this is what it is. The beast you saw once was and is not, and yet is to come out of the abyss and go to its destruction. So he says, this beast is coming out of the abyss, and it will go to its destruction. He says, the inhabitants of the earth are those whose names have not been written in the Lamb book of life. From the creation of the world will be astonished when they see the beast, because it once was, now is not, and yet to come. He says this beast is going to come out, and what it's going to do is it's going to absolutely astonish, overwhelm the people of this inhabitants, those who've never had their names written in the Lamb's book of life from the creation of the world. These are individuals who have never accepted Jesus Christ and will never accept Jesus Christ. Believe it or not, even though the gospel of Jesus Christ is universal, there are people who will never accept Jesus Christ. Now, they will be given the choice, they'll be given the opportunity and the chance, but they will reject it. Either they will do it by saying them to themselves, well, you know, I'm a great person, so there's really no reason why I should ever give my life to Jesus Christ. There's lots of people out there that are self-reliant, self-sufficient, self-priding in their own accomplishments. They look at themselves as these wonderful, marvelous people, successful people, powerful people, political people. They will not give their lives to Jesus Christ because they look at Christ as a crutch. They look Christ as a religion. There are many people who have followed Islam and followed Muhammad, or that is Islam. They followed Krishna, and they followed Buddha, and they followed Confucius. And they say these wonderful religions will give us into heaven. We will have eternal life because of that. Their names are not written in the Lamb's book of life. And they made that choice. And he says they will be astonished by the beast, because it once was. Now, it says basically this, that this beast has always been around. Robert religions has always been around, and now is not, and yet is to come. It's about to be revealed. The final stages of this whole situation is about to be revealed. And this is why it says in verse number 9, this calls for the mind with wisdom. You got to think this thing through, he says. The 7 horns are 7 hills on which the woman sits. The 7 hills, of course, represent 7 governments, 7 world systems, 7 countries. And there are also 7 kings. These 7 countries have 7 kings, 7 rulers. And he says, 5 have fallen, 1 is not yet come, but he will come, but he can only remain for a little while. So there's this rising. Now, some people say it's actual world systems, and they can follow through history, and if you wish to do that, you can. Some would say, well, that was the Assyrian Empire, and then, of course, there was the Persian Empire, and then there was the Greek Empire, and then there was the Empire of Rome, and then we could look at maybe the American Empire, or maybe the rising of China. He's talking about the fact that there are still a king that is going to come, but he's only going to rule for a little while. He says the beast who was once is now is the 8th king. He belongs to the 7, and he is going to his destruction. He says right now there's a king ruling. It's called the beast, and he belongs to the other 7. He says these particular empires have raised up. He has raised up a world empire. He looks at himself as a great king. He looks at himself as a wonderful individual. He is the ruler of the world. He says, but he's going to his destruction. He says the 10 horns you saw are 10 kings who have not received a kingdom, but one who for 1 hour will receive the authority as kings along with the beast. There is going to be a leader who's going to come up. There are 10 countries, and they've not received their kingdom yet. They've been looking forward to their kingdom. They've been looking forward. They aligned themselves up with the Antichrist because he promised them that they would have world domination with him. And then what will happen is he will elevate one particular man to stand with him, maybe a co-ruler. He says, but you know what? This individual will only rule for such a short period of time. They have one purpose, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. What's going on is they're getting ready. Now, in Revelation chapter 16, we have this picture of all the world coming together to war against God's people. And in Revelation chapter 17, we have the rising up of these different, the Babylonian system, or the world system, and then you have all these kings coming together. They say, we're going to join you. We're going to fight against these people. One of them will be elevated as a co-leader. And the purpose of all this system, these kings, these nations, is they're going to give their power and their authority. They're going to align themselves behind. They're going to have a coalition against God's people, a coalition against the Lamb. They're going to destroy God once and for all. Their purpose is, we are going to destroy religion in any form that does not conform to the religion of the Antichrist. That's their purpose. And they say they will wage war against the Lamb. But listen to this. It says the Lamb will triumph over them. Why? Because he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And his name is called Chosen and Faithful Followers. You see, the whole idea of the Antichrist, the whole idea behind the dragon and the false prophet, is to malign and destroy anything that has to do with godliness. We see that happening right now. We have leadership in our own country of Canada who has made it very clear that the last thing they want to have in Canada is the Christian religion. They'll embrace anybody, but they won't embrace the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. In that day just before the judgment of God, just before the battle of Armageddon, we have all the kings of the earth aligning together. They say, we are here. We are going to give you power. We're going to give you authority. We're going to be a coalition with you to destroy those that follow God. Now, we know that in the book of Revelation, it's a cosmic battle between good and evil. It's a battle between God and between Satan, between the Lamb and between the false prophet. Jesus Christ will triumph. Why? Because he's the Lord of Lords and the King of Kings. And you know what? And with him are his called, chosen, and faithful followers. That's you, and that's me. And we're going to see Jesus Christ triumph over the forces of darkness. What a great day that's going to be. One day you'll see Satan stand before Jesus, actually kneeling, prostrate before Jesus, and with his mouth going like this, yes, Jesus, you are the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I'm looking forward to that day. I trust you are as well. My name is Robert Dean Steele. You have yourself a godly day. Of course, this is your daily Bible class.